2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Northbridge or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Hi, friends.
Hey, Nat, how are you?
Oh, that's my friend Shaun McManus.
Yeah, hello.
No Nathan today, but we squeezed some guests in.
God, we were flat out today.
I know.
We had Matthew Pavlich on this morning, actually, just coming out of retirement.
Shaun, as soon as we started talking about it, I could see your little eyes light up and you're like, why don't they ask me?
I've nearly given up the option of doing that, you know. In my mind, obviously, I could do anything, but the fact that I haven't been able to run for 2 years and every time I've taken half a step forward at any pace that I've nearly done a hamstring / scarf.
Yeah, and
starting to wear me down now.
Your hips had a word. They said no.
They said no.
Caitlin Bassett joined us, but also she brought her dad, Mike Bassett, along. And the reason was because he is officially our Married at First Sight expert.
He was amazing. Earlier on, I forgot to mention, we had a discussion about when you've gone on a work trip and it's hard to convince your partner that this is actually work because you're having such a great time.
Inspired by Sam Mack, the sunrise weatherman, who's currently in the Cook Islands, on jet skis and lying on sun lounges with cocktails in coconuts, and then he has to convince his fiancée, who's got 2 children under 2 at home, that I'm working. This is work. We're working.
That stuff can be exhausting, though.
I know. And Reuben Kaye joined us as well, from Jesus Christ Superstar, and also just cabaret star, international cabaret star. We love having Reuben around, and he brought us balls. At the moment, if you have caught sunrise over the last couple of days, Sam Mack, the weather guy, great guy, he is in the Cook Islands.
Yeah, we always talk about Sam Mack because he does so much travel, Nat, and whilst on TV it looks like, oh, how good, like he's in all kinds of North Queensland, he's everywhere. And we all think, no, you don't realise how hard he's working.
And he does have to get up very early because of course it's breakfast TV. But he posted, I follow him on Instagram, and he posted yesterday, there's a picture of him on a jet ski and there's a picture of him lying on a sun lounger with a cocktail, 2 cocktails, one in each hand. There's an aerial picture of the Cook Islands. There he is by the plunge pool.
Oh, that's nice.
And look at the beach.
It's unbelievable.
Honestly, genuinely looks gorgeous. There he is under a palm tree. And there is, another cocktail and a flower behind his ear, another palm tree. Oh, and a hammock, the sunset hammock shot. And he has the caption is, it's becoming increasingly difficult to convince people, and he's put in brackets, i.e. Rebecca James, who's his partner, that this is, in fact, a work trip. And I like the hammock. The hammock is the one for me. And the hammock and the jet ski, I think, it is hard to write that off as a work trip. And when you're the partner at home with, they have 2 children under 2.
Yeah.
And she's like, while he's on a jet ski in the Cook Islands.
It's a real
I know that you can turn on the TV and see objectively that he is working, but also at the same time, he's not doing the late night, wake up to feed the baby, and you'd just be like, I wouldn't be happy in that scenario, Shaun.
No, that happened at my household a lot, I think, over the journey.
Because, you would obviously travel to play football, but then once the football, you could argue, I guess you could argue that that's work. And but then after that, you guys would go out? Yes. I
would always say that the footy trip was mandatory. So
at the
I had
end
to go
of
on a
season,
holiday after.
Trip.
Yeah.
And no, it's a team thing. We have to go.
Most of those years, I would have had really young children. Like when I was in Las Vegas, I think Sonny was probably under a year old. And that wouldn't go down too well. Actually, it gets brought up quite often to this day. You would have heard it before, Megan sledging me about being in another country.
She calls me every night. And when we had to go to Sydney for the Radio Awards, not last year, the year before, and we had to do a photo shoot. There was a bit of stuff going on, and it was a work trip.
Yeah, it was.
But you did spend the morning in a helicopter on a scenic flight.
Oh, well, I did, but I did take you the day before on a great tour around Cindy Harbour with our friends.
Yes.
We had an absolute belter.
Yeah, we did. We both lost our sunglasses. That's how good it was.
So I took photos of those things and video when I was also up in the harbour going
Yes.
around in a helicopter ride, and I didn't dare put them on Instagram until I just, talked to Megan about what the
She was
setup
like, please
was.
don't tag me in anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
It was.
so hard to.
It is tough to argue it's a work trip.
Yeah,
And I
it
know,
is.
just recently the Live Golf was on, and I know there were guys from here who went over to Adelaide. Purportedly, it's a work trip,
Yeah.
but then you see everybody just living it up at the Live Golf and having the best time ever in Adelaide, and you're like, it's a work trip. Work trips are the best.
They are the best.
When you're on them.
Yeah,
When
for
you're
sure.
the person at home just going, are you joking me? And you're having the constant conversation with the partner who's going, no, this is work.
This is exactly what want to talk about now.
Heather's in Aluka. Hi, Heather.
Hi guys, how are you?
Good,
Great,
Heather.
Heather. Okay. Was it you who took the work trip or what
Yes,
happened?
it was.
Oh, okay. Talk us through it.
So our company was up for some awards in Esperance. We're based in Perth, but
Yeah.
the awards evening was in Esperance. And the company had said that they would take partners along. But unfortunately, my husband, a FIFO worker, he was stuck away.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he was stuck in like odd 48 to 52 degree heat.
Whoa.
Well, not only did I get to go to Esperance for an awards evening, because he couldn't come, I got to take my best friend with me.
Oh. So it's like Girls Gone Wild in Esperance.
So it was. I got to bring her with. We went, and during the day we went to all the brilliant beaches.
Yes.
We got to take photos of crystal blue waters.
Yeah.
We went for drinks. Then we went out for the awards evening. Then afterwards we went partying and dancing. It's
Straight down the
different
Pier
venues.
Hotel. Don't worry.
Yes,
I know.
exactly. Yeah, and the snake pit.
Yes.
Maybe not so good, the snake pit. and then we're telling my husband, no, it was all for work. It was all networking.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a tough sell when he knows he's sitting in this donger and 52 degree heat
Yeah,
at
that's
night.
right.
You guys are out in the
Exactly.
sauce.
And you're skipping along the beach with the kangaroos. Beautiful.
That's right. He was like, I'm not convinced this was any work-related function at
Hey,
all.
Heather, why on earth was the awards night held in Esperance?
Because it's master builders, we're in
Right.
the construction industry, for the different regions, they
Okay.
hold them.
Okay.
Yeah, Esperance, a little bit strange, but anyway,
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
No,
definitely not.
Yeah, exactly. No, you did very well. All right, thanks, Heather. Lisa's in Heathridge. Hello.
Good morning.
Okay.
Hi,
we're
Lisa.
talking about,
Hi.
and we use inverted commas, work trips. What have you got for us?
They were work trips.
Yes.
When I had my kids, I went back to work part-time as a travel agent, and part of our job is to go to different places in the world on educational trips to check them all out. So when my babies were little, I had to go to the Maldives, and I was pretty
For work, yeah. Got it.
I know. It was a work trip.
Yeah, no, we know how hard you worked, and those cocktails you were
Absolutely.
working. Yeah.
Well, I mean, someone's got to bring in the bread and butter, right?
Yeah, and
that's
also
true.
you're
I also
servicing
think-
your clients by testing these things out. You can't recommend it without
100%.
knowing it, can you?
I'm such a giver. I also went on a scenic river cruise from Amsterdam to Budapest.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Lisa, how often were these coming up when you were working there? Because I'd imagine there'd be some that you'd have to knock back because it'd be taking the piss, wouldn't it?
It wouldn't be taking the piss.
No,
but
she's
it
working,
would
Shaun.
be-
How dare
there
you?
was some, yeah, exactly. I mean, if it was a man, people wouldn't be asking these questions, would they? Leaving
No.
their babies at home.
That is a great point.
No, probably once or twice a year. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there were some really good ones. But, when you've got an 18-month and a 3-year-old at home, it was really, really, really good. I loved every second of it. And I definitely appreciated my work trip. But my husband was super supportive. Not one word said. If anything, he was my cheerleader. It was my mum.
Oh,
right.
What,
She
so what was
shipping at
she? She's having a crack.
Yeah, a little bit. Like there was a lot of inverted commas work trip, roll your eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And, the mums at the school pick up would give you heaps of stick as well, like all language, yes. But, there was definitely a lot of explaining to people a lot. This is work.
This is a work
It is
trip.
definitely. I mean, you do work in the industry, so it is evidence. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's just a work because you're going to a conference, it's a little harder to argue, but she's a travel agent.
It's amazing. I've run into the travel agent down in Dunsborough when I've been on holidays. I've used a few times.
Yes.
Anita Ness. Hello, Anita, and her team. But every time you have a question about anywhere in the world, she's got the answer
She
in all
knows
these
because
different
she's
places.
been there.
I think that is the best job. Now, by the way, you'd be amazing at this job.
I know,
You've travelled extensively.
It does seem like it's tailor-made for me.
It is.
It's nice to know I've got something to move on to when the radio goes belly up.
One of my friends, he is in the finance game, and he got into surfing a few years ago, and he's really started getting passionate about it. And some of the people that he ran into at different events that were in the same industry were into it as well. They had kind of a connection. So they all got together and decided that if they worked out if, I think it's 7 different businesses would be required to show up to an event, to call it a conference. And if you do that, then it's all tax deducted.
Of course it is.
So they organised a trip, a work conference at a place called Latitude Zero Resort, and it's in the Tallow Islands. And I've looked at this so much, right? So
Indonesia, yeah?
Yeah, this is in Indonesia, off Indonesia. And to stay at this place is about $8,000 a week. That's not including flights to Indonesia.
Yes, so presumably you got to fly to Jakarta and then onwards, yeah?
Yep, so they were able to get there as long as they had some person who they caught up on a day, which they did. They were all together all day, right? So, but they had to
Somebody
sit down.
had to be the guest speaker for the day.
Well, and then they had to write down minutes of their trip every single day.
Yes, to prove that it was a work trip. But really, they just went surfing for most of the day.
All of it, yeah. My friend was saying that he's surfed a few times. He surfed 3 times a day, and in between that, he ate and slept. That was it.
Sean, we need a radio conference.
So we definitely need a radio conference. Once again, it's going to be a tough sell to my wife, but we'll do it.
Jared's in Alkimos. Morning, Jared.
Morning, guys. How are you guys?
Hey, Jared.
Great, Jared. Now, have you been on a, and I use inverted commas, work trip?
I sure have. We got all expenses paid for business class flights to Germany.
Oh.
And we got to tour over all of Germany, Austria, a little bit of Italy.
Yeah.
Even got to do the Oktoberfest there at the same time.
For work? What work are you in, Jared?
I'm in the timber flooring game.
Yeah, wow. What a junket. Sounds amazing.
How does that work?
One of our suppliers are in Germany.
Yeah.
And it's like they do that every year. They send you over for a bit of a work trip, which is insisting. I was there for 2 weeks, and I got probably half a day of a tour of the factory where it's made, and the rest of it was like just go nuts.
The rest was Oktoberfest. Yeah, we
Stein after Stein.
How did that go down at home?
Well, the wife and 2 kids at home didn't love it because she's been begging me to take her to Europe, so didn't go down well. But I promised her the next one I can take her with her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, sure. Until they're like, there's been budget cuts, you can't bring any partners, you know.
That's it. Sorry, you're in you're not first class or business class this year. You're in the back with everyone else.
Or you're in business, she's in economy, yeah?
Yeah, that's it.
Gee, that'd go down real well.
To get that across the line, isn't it? Oh, Jared, amazing.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'd like to do that.
Oktoberfest. It's a work trip.
Yeah,
please.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
It's on the front page of today's paper and made the news overnight. The poor Uber driver that was involved in that fatal accident in Dalkeith. We're not here to talk about the driver, the alleged perpetrator, because obviously he's going to have his day in court.
Yeah.
But let's talk about that Uber driver for a moment. He's just doing his job, for starters. He's a recent graduate. He graduated from his engineering course. He had a job interview on the Monday.
Oh.
He's from India, but he's been obviously living and studying here. He has no family here. And he's the eldest child, so he was sending a lot of money back to India to support his family. And all of a sudden, he's come out of the coma now, but he was in a coma, 2 broken legs, his dominant hand is broken. And this is quite a beautiful thing in that he posted a GoFundMe yesterday.
Yeah.
Perth Now wrote a story about it, put it out there. Within 8 hours, his target of $60,000 had been reached.
Oh.
And it's now at close to $90,000. So people have just absolutely kicked in to help out this guy. So he needed money, obviously, for rent.
Yes.
For medical bills. And he wants to bring 1 or more family members out to look after him. Like, he can't look after himself. He's still in hospital now. But for him to go home, he's going to need somebody there to help look after him. And so that's enabled him to be able to do that. You go, that's a beautiful thing.
That is a really lovely thing. I always think about the moment that he's woken up. He doesn't know what situation he's been in, only that he's woken up and he's in hospital and he's looking at himself and all these injuries have taken place. There's no memory at all.
And I might be wrong about this, but there's some suggestion that he was conscious when he was pulled from the vehicle. And so, yes, like he totally understands. But to wake up to find out that the poor girl that was his passenger has passed away, and that, you know, he's been nothing but very gracious in the whole thing. You're going, oh, imagine your life changing like that. Like, he's just graduated, he's got a job interview, you think everything's opening up for you, and then everything just shuts down immediately in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, it's horrendous. It's horrendous.
Isn't it?
And you always wonder why that happens to a family or a person.
I know.
Any individual that takes place. Why is that singled out, or why are they singled out in that fashion at any one time?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, it is awful, isn't it? But, you know, that's a really a nice story that's come out of it, is the way that the local community has rallied around him. So well done, everybody.
Yeah, I bet you the Indian community too, in a big way, have got right behind him, which is awesome.
I had a look at the donations. There's some big donations in there. You know, people donating thousands of dollars, and you go, you're great, generous people. But also the people who could only afford to kick in $10 or $20, because it all adds up to $90,000 so far.
Fantastic.
And rising. So that's going to make a big difference to that young man's life.
Definitely.
Thoughts are with him and the family of the young lady who passed away. Just the whole situation was horrendous. It's just so awful.
Yeah.
And to think that you're just jumping in an Uber, something we do all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And that the blink of an eye and a wrong judgment, and next minute everything's changed.
Everything, yep.
Oh, God, it doesn't bear thinking about.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Northbridge or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
Here at Nova, we like, if there's a subject that we don't know much about, we like to find an expert. And in this particular field, we have Caitlin Bassett is not the expert, but her dad is. CBass, thank you for bringing your dad to work with you today.
Most people are shook when they say, "What are you doing on Saturday night?" And I say, "I'm having a MAFs date with my dad." They just don't understand. So no, it's been a whirlwind. Few seasons we've been watching now, and it gives us something to bond over.
Yeah,
Mike, good
Bassett.
morning to you.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Mike, before you launch into your in-depth analysis of this season of MAFs, we've made you an opener. Have a listen.
Married at first, Mike.
You're our official MAFs expert.
Well, we've spoken to you a few times, Mike, about MAFs. We all got excited the fact that you and Caitlin bond over this, but you're actually right into it.
Yes, I am. That's right. And I've got to take you to task over last time we spoke.
Yes,
you said
Mike.
it was all scripted and everything.
Yes,
This year you'd have to realise that the experts have got it right, because there's quite a few love matches this year.
I mean, it's still early. There's still time for that.
We have lost a few. In the first couple of weeks, we lost 4 lots, so I suppose that's...
Yeah. And then they stuffed up so badly that they had to bring back some people and rematch them with other people. So you go,
Yeah, they did get a second chance. That's right.
I think what's best is that the Perth couples have already dated each other. Yeah. So when they rocked up, they've seen each other and they go, not you. Yeah, and it's typical because, I mean, as a tall girl going out in Perth, I've definitely kissed the same guys that my friends have. I know where they're at.
They're tight circles. Yeah, Mike, a few times when we've had the experts in here, I've got on the front foot a bit because I just think they've done a shithouse job in a nutshell. But
no,
you're
that's
telling
not
me
true. They've done what you're saying is they've done a bad job of matching people together, but they've done a great job of creating TV that people watch.
I know, but this is what gets me. People believe it. People believe it, and all the women get up and about. Oh, he's a horrible person. They're acting. No, they know each other. They're
often they are horrible people as well.
But put that aside. Who have you liked so far this season, Mike?
Well, a couple of ones have come to attention.
Yes.
Jackie and Ryan have been quite good.
Oh, hang on, wait. You think they're
the-
good people, or
for the
You mean crazy
what?
eyes and masculine?
for the controversy side of it.
okay? Yeah,
that's all.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So from a controversial side of things, what's been going on there? Because I've refused to watch it.
Well, yeah.
She can't get over the ranking system. So in week 1, or at their wedding, actually, it started
Yeah,
there.
it started there.
She
Yeah.
dropped him.
He dropped
her.
her.
Sorry.
during the dance,
Yes.
he dropped her, and then she reckoned she was head injured
Yes.
after that, right?
And then in the ranking challenge, she got a bit shitty because he didn't put her as the hottest bride, which, fair enough. Like, I've tried to do this game with my partner as well. It just doesn't work. It's just a really uncomfortable situation to be in. But she's a little bit crazy, isn't she?
She is. There's a couple of crazy ones. And we've got the older couple. That they did an older couple last year,
Yeah,
and
yep.
this couple's virtually mirroring that. He's not really that interested, and she's interested. And the interesting part about when they first went to the wedding, they both got the same burgundy suits on as the old couple last year. So obviously the wardrobe budget is not that good.
It's like, we've got the old people's clothes. Here we go.
That's right, exactly.
You know, if you get the velvet burgundy blazer,
Yeah,
then you're
that's
in the
it.
wrong.
That's right.
Mike, some of
That's
the stuff-
my age group.
Yeah, that's great. It's the Ron Burgundy.
Right, exactly.
Well, some of the stuff that I read, a lot of the articles are coming out of everybo's showing each other. There's asses getting shown left, right, and centre. Now, there's been a hell of a lot of nudity and sex talk in this, as usual?
No, there hasn't been much nudity at all.
Bit
There
of
was
lingerie.
Yeah, there's a lingerie fail, yeah.
Yes.
And there was a bit of a back massage, but we didn't get to see a lot with that. But
Mike was checking.
Very, very
He
disappointing.
replayed it a few times just to be sure.
Caitlin had to make me aware of the lingerie fail. I had to go back and rewind.
Said you're going to love this episode tonight. I may have seen some areola, which I'd never seen on Channel 9 at that time
Yeah,
before.
of course, Mike. The big thing is that they love a bit of they love conflict, and obviously
yeah.
they
That's what the whole
promote
show's
that.
about,
That's
yeah.
right, with the dinner parties where they get everybody together and force them to drink, and then just see what happens, light a match and throw it in and see what happens.
That's right.
So, what have been the memorable dinner party moments this season? Because obviously in years gone by, there's been glasses of wine thrown in people's faces and all the rest of
Well,
it.
no, there hasn't been any wine throwing this year. It's been a bit quiet, but they've actually had to manufacture a bit of conflict, I think, because a lot of the couples were loved up, so there's no action
Right.
happening. So you can actually tell that they've thrown a match in there.
Yes.
I think they've plied them with a bit too much drink in some places,
Yes.
just to get the conflict up and running, sort of thing.
Cheating scandals? Where are we at with the cheating scandals?
Not yet, but they're coming apparently.
Okay, that's
yes.
Yeah, there's been a bit of nudging that we're like, somebody's upset because her partner went and had lunch with someone else or something.
Yeah, there was a few a meal thing, but there's no actual cheating yet.
No.
But, there's been a lot of leaks to the media. One girl's gone rogue and broken her contract conditions, I think, and done a few leaks. So.
I think that's what the experts do as well. They go, okay, we'll deliberately mismatch this couple because
Yes.
they won't get along, but we'll put one person from one couple and they might match another couple
Yes.
really well. And they're almost like trying to manufacture this cheating and wife swapping stuff. It's disgusting.
Oh.
It's just so entertaining.
But
I
you
don't know,
love it.
Caitlin. I think you're being a bit harsh there. Your dad didn't bring you up that way.
So, Mike, just to be clear, you believe that the experts are matching these people with good intentions and genuinely want them to form loving, lasting couples?
I think they are to a certain extent, but there is a bit of matching, as
Mike,
Caitlin
come on.
said. Oh, come on now. No. You're not a true believer. You haven't been watching. You're not
You're right.
qualified.
I'm not a true believer.
Yeah. That's true. You've got to really throw yourself in there.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah,
Where do you rate this series, Mike? Because it's had a...
Yeah, in the canon.
Yeah.
It's probably down a couple, actually, because they haven't had the big... We had, at the beginning, a couple of girls come out, and they're going to be big personalities, but they've just mellowed right out. It's been a bit...
Yeah, and we did peak early with that horrible PE teacher. Who
Well, that's right.
He just was physically repulsed by the bride that he was matched with, even though he publicly said to the producers, I'm all about personality. It doesn't matter what they look like. Turns out it did matter, right?
You know a lot about this, mate. For someone that has...
You know what I do? I read the James Weir recaps on news.com.
I think you're a closet watcher. You're just not letting on.
So he was a dreadful piece of work.
Yeah,
wasn't
then
he?
Elliot come out firing straight up. He was the one that left after 2 days because his girl was too old for him. She's only about 5 years older and didn't meet his strict criteria.
The very elderly woman, and she's about 35.
And now he's with actress model, and he's still not happy with her. So that's kind of saying.
Yeah, but she's calling him out last night, didn't she? She really put him to place.
Well, he's not going to like that, is he?
So, Mike, give us a rundown of your viewing habits on this. So, how do you set up for the night if you're watching it with Kate?
You're watching it every night, every night it's on?
I watch it every night, yeah. Sometimes I record it and watch it half an hour late so I can zhung all the ads out of it. That's my favourite.
What's Mrs. Bassett doing?
Oh, she doesn't watch it. No.
She's a non-believer.
She's a non-believer for sure.
Is it driving a wedge in the marriage, or is everything okay?
Yeah, there's definitely.
Are we going to see you on there next year in a burgundy jacket?
Well, what's the one coming up soon that you told us about the...
Oh, Golden Bachelor.
Golden Bachelor.
You mean you told me about? As soon as MAFs finishes, Dad goes on to Love Triangle or Island, whatever, Love Island.
No,
crappy ones.
Crappy. No.
Oh, you draw the
There's
line
no real
at Love
stories
Island.
there.
Not true love. Not about true love.
First Dates is another one of my favourite.
First Dates.
Oh, yeah, that is quite
that's
entertaining.
The English version.
It's low stakes, you know.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mike, thank you for your in-depth report and for being so diligent and making notes and everything.
I've been doing this ever since it started.
Hey, Mike, before we go, who is your favourite couple? If you do have one.
That you want to genuinely get together, be the who are they? Cam and Jules.
You mean Duncan
the big tall bloke.
The big tall
Dave.
bloke.
Dave?
Dave and Jamie.
You want Dave and Jamie?
Yeah.
She's got lots of tattoos.
Jamie the blonde. Oh, that doesn't know.
She's got the one with the blue tattoos up his neck.
Yeah, Jamie's the blonde girl.
Yes.
Okay.
They seem to genuinely like one another, don't they?
She's
a bit
endowed. Yes.
Do you like her, do you, Mike? Yeah. For a personality.
As far as blondes.
We get it.
I can see her.
Sean's got his little book there.
I can see her personality, yeah. Good one.
Shines through, doesn't it, Sean? Thank you, Mike.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
10K drive-through. Thanks to Thirsty Camel. Win 10 grand with Nathan, Nat and Shaun at our Thirsty Camel 10K drive-through at CY O'Connor in Piara Waters. Shop the way you want and save big bucks in-store and online at the Camel.
All right, here we go. Someone's about to score themselves a spot in our Thirsty Camel 10K drive-through at CY O'Connor in Piara Waters on Friday. It's going to be a big day.
It's going to be huge, actually, Natalie. Brian and G are going to battle it out this morning. We'll start with you. Brian, how are you, brother?
Good, thanks.
And now, Brian, this is all about staying in your car while we play this game. So what car, if you make it through, what car will you be bringing through our drive-through on Friday?
I've got a Commodore.
Excellent.
Commodore, mate.
Good man.
Hey, it's vintage, by the way.
Yeah,
it's
they're
going
an
to be a collective item.
endangered species, aren't they?
For sure.
It's a classic. All right, Brian, you're up against G from Balcatta. Morning, G.
Morning.
Hey, G.
What are you getting around in, G?
A Nissan Navara.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
nice.
Nice.
Okay, we need to be able to identify you, so that'll be good. That'll be nice and clear.
All right, here's what's going to happen. We've got a bunch of general knowledge questions. When we ask the question, if you know the answer, buzz in with your name. You get it right, you take a point. You get it wrong, we'll move on to the next question. It is the first to 5. Let's test your buzzers. Brian? G? They're working, guys.
All right, fantastic news. I feel the nerves. It's a big deal, this.
I know.
Here we go with question number 1, Natalie. Which sport uses the terms like love, juice, and ace?
Brian. Tennis.
Of course it is, Brian.
Well done,
Brian's
Brian.
on the board, everybody.
Good start,
Brian's
Brian.
on the board at 1-0. Next question. Which famous band was formed by brothers Liam and Noel Gallagher? G?
Shit, I got this. Sorry.
Yeah,
I was going to say One Direction, but never mind.
No. It's absolutely not One Direction. It is Oasis.
Oasis!
You're my Wonderwall. I know. Brian still leads 1-0.
Question number 3. Who was the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean?
Famously went missing. Yeah, no. Amelia Earhart. It was quite a while ago, to be fair.
Yeah, I knew that one.
Okay, Brian still leads 1-0. Next question. What is the term for a baby goat?
Brian.
Yes, Brian.
Kid.
Of course it is,
Yeah,
Brian. Of
Briano.
course it is. Brian leads 2-0.
Okay, number 5. Which artist painted the Starry Night? Think of a famous artist.
Perhaps missing an ear.
Vincent van Gogh. Ring a bell?
No.
Okay. Absolutely not, Sean.
Okay, score check. Brian still leads 2-0. Next question. Which reality TV show features contestants competing for a rose?
Oh, G.
Brian.
G.
The Bachelor.
Yes, G. G's on the board, everybody.
Fantastic.
Brian still leads 2-1.
Next question. What does www stand for in a web address?
Brian.
Brian?
World Wide Web.
Certainly does, Brian.
Brian's shot out to a 3-1 lead. Next question. Which country produces the most coffee in the world?
G.
G?
Is it Australia?
It is not Australia. No, produces the most coffee. It is Brazil. Yeah, I know. Who knew, right? Okay, Brian still leads 3-1.
Next question. What year did The Simpsons first air?
G.
Yes, G?
19...
You're right so
Seven.
far.
1964?
It's not 64, which would make it over 50 years old.
Well over
wouldn't it?
50 years old. In fact, it would make it 60 years old.
60 years old.
61,
Okay,
no.
61.
No, 89 was the answer.
Oh, no.
I know. Okay, next question. What is the name of the stadium in Perth that was demolished in 2012?
Brian.
Yes, Brian?
The CBass Oval.
Of course
Yes,
it was,
it was.
Brian. Brian's on the brink of victory, everybody, leading 4-1.
Next question. Which car brand produces the Corolla?
G.
Brian.
G?
Is it Toyota?
It is G. Staging a comeback. 4-2 to Brian. Next question. Who played the lead role in the Mission Impossible movies?
Brian.
Brian.
For the win.
Tom Cruise. Brian's done it, everybody. Bringing the Commodore to our Thirsty Camel 10K drive-through at CY O'Connor in Piara Waters on Friday. Have you got 3 smart friends, Brian?
I'll find some.
That's the spirit. Maybe one that knows about art or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Some of those questions.
You never know. Plus, Brian, we're going to sling you a chickie, $150 to spend at Thirsty Camel as well.
Oh, awesome.
I know, happy days.
Well done, Brian. Good job, G.
Guess what, everybody? We have one more spot left in our Thirsty Camel 10K drive-through lineup. That's up for grabs tomorrow.
Oh,
I
it'll
know.
be hotly contested.
It is indeed.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Mount Hawthorn or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
Special guest, the superstar who is stealing all the scenes in Jesus Christ Superstar, and he doesn't play Jesus Christ, let me tell you. He plays Herod. The one and only Reuben Kaye's back in the house.
And I'm nailing it.
You are.
I'm
You're
nailing
just
it.
telling us how good you are.
Look, before I get on to how brilliant I am, how talented I am, and
Yes.
how underpaid I am.
No doubt.
I was a little late to the studio today, so I got you two a little prezzy.
Oh, stop it.
I did. I got you a little prezzy.
Oh.
They're balls.
Oh, and you had them waxed.
You
Lovely.
know the way to our hearts. I'll have
protein-
one of your balls.
You call them protein balls, do you?
Sure. Sure. If you're on a health kick, just be careful because they've got nuts in.
Absolutely, Reuben.
Any man that brings us balls is all right with us, isn't he, Sean?
Absolutely, Reuben. We love having you in here, but more importantly, not
And
for your
balls.
balls is all,
you.
but because it's early mornings and you're a performer at night, so we just like to do this for a bit of a piss up.
To destroy your soul.
You do it to torture me, but my secret is I haven't been to bed yet. So joke's on you.
Where do you go all night in Perth on a Tuesday night?
Well, I volunteer at the RSPCA. I was just helping 4 of the Western Bulldogs out of a sticky situation.
Sorry, I've got a little bit of Reuben Kaye's ball in my mouth.
I know. Can't you taste the coconut? I don't know what lotion he wears, but geez.
Yeah, thank you for bringing those in, Reuben.
Well, I'm a giver.
Now, not much. I'm just spitting peanut butter everywhere. Not many more performances left before you guys finish up with Jesus Christ Superstar.
We're on the home run, the final countdown here in Boorloo. I'm amazed at how quickly it's gone. It's been I love this city. I come back every year for Fringe. It's one of my favourites. But I really thought, the month with Jesus Christ Superstar, we'll have time to luxuriate in it. But from the opening night till now feels like a blink.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun and getting sunburnt.
Do you actually get tired as the weeks go on, or do you find more energy at different parts to be able to maintain the performance over a month?
I think it depends on how much meth we're consuming.
Yeah, I agree with that.
No, it's the city.
Way to get in with the locals.
Yeah, it's the state dish. We cook it over spoons. Certainly with the runs, we do kind of, as the weeks go on, we start to go, okay, cool, yep, we're going, and we do get tired. But that's when your discipline, your motivation, that's when we all band together. That's when we start coming up with little game side stage to keep it interesting. Yeah. There was an occasion on the Last Supper where I was side stage in an inflatable T-Rex outfit. Because if we're going to talk about Jesus, we have to talk about evolution and dinosaurs.
Exactly, the two do go hand in hand.
That was my argument when they pulled me into the office and gave me my first warning.
Is that true?
Not my first one, but they're like, Reuben, we might just not. I don't.
Maybe not. Draw the line at
full costumes side stage. You know, the costumes need to be on stage. But then again, at one point, I was dressed up as Elphaba in the crucifixion side stage with a green light and a cape, kind of doing Defying Gravity.
This is a classic thing that performers do off stage to try and just sort of keep things interesting. Because I remember seeing an interview with Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who's famous for Fleabag, obviously, but she was in some sort of play somewhere, and she was doing this where it escalated, got bigger and bigger every night until finally she went fully nude. So somebody had to open a door, and she was just standing out of sight, completely nude, and then they closed the door and had to carry on.
You want to put people off if you can, because you've been working together for so long.
And we've got to keep it into. And I'll tell you, apart from like My Number, the show doesn't have. Why am I looking at you?
That's Amy, our producer.
Staring at the other people in the room. They're not the talent. They're not why I'm here. The show apart from My Number doesn't really have any laughs. It's really quite serious. And for someone like me, the great joy is really seeing how good some of these music theatre actors are at their job. Yes. So if I can keep it lively, and I'll say it started with me just with a clown nose side stage. Yeah. It started with a little sign saying, shh, don't tell anyone, but I'm peeing. Like little things. And I will say, over the course of the 3 months in Sydney, it suddenly escalated to me as Elphaba or me
as a
in an inflatable T-Rex costume mauling one of the guys and reenacting Jurassic Park.
So full frontal nudity is not too far away?
Do you know what?
Oh, it's happened, surely.
It can't happen because my costume is so intricately laced at the back.
Oh, right.
I can't get in or out
without assistance.
A lot of assistance, and that means I have to very much time my fluid intake.
Oh, yes.
Because once I'm in, I'm in. Yeah. And there's been a couple of moments in Sydney when I think I need to.
I have not timed it right.
I have not timed this right. My body has betraying me. And I had to, and my dresser just looked at me and went, it's your problem, mate. There's no time. There's no time to unlace me out of this thing.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no zip. There's no little secret panel I could pull aside for anything.
No little button flap at the back.
No. Oh, wouldn't that like a little sailor boy outfit? And I just had to grimace and bear and the flop sweat in that number in Sydney as I'm sitting there hitting these notes, running up and down this big cross in heels, all the pressure on my pelvic floor, which is normally quite tightly sprung.
I've heard.
A
lot of people are talking about that.
It's featured on an episode of The Block. I think Dave Hughes has bought it. That I ran off stage the minute
yeah.
I got off stage, and I was like, "You get me out of this thing
you just
right
want to be
now.
cut out of it at that point.
I'm about to ruin the floor here."
And the costume forever.
The costume forever.
Because you don't want to get it back into it after what was about to happen there.
Absolutely not. It'll remind me of a night in Berlin. And a lot of asparagus.
Hey, if you're remembering nights in Berlin, you didn't do Berlin right.
Hey, Reuben, being in the entertainment industry, how far are you looking ahead of what you're doing next year? So for us guys, we've got an ongoing contract that's set for a few years, whatever the case is.
Lucky.
Yeah, so how long do you know that you've got employment for the rest of the year? And then the second part too, because you're doing different things. When we're all doing tax time, we just get one, group statement type of thing. Are you...
Nah, tax time is an existential crisis for me. It's full because tax time is not just like, oh, how much money have I not made? Yes. And how much money that I haven't made am I now giving to the government?
Yes.
But it's also a case of, I actually haven't worked that much. Or, I've done this job and this job and this job and this job, but what actually am I?
Yeah.
It's an interesting time, I think. It changes for every performer, and it changes from year to year how far ahead you look. Because you're only ever as good as your last gig.
Yeah, of course.
And suddenly the gig you're in now, which might be your best gig, like Jesus Christ Superstar, is suddenly your last gig.
Comes to an end,
Oh, what now?
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing for the next half of the year, which I'm very lucky to say. I can't say what it is, but
so there's a big project that we'll find out about soon. And you're doing shows for the Melbourne Comedy Festival as well.
Yeah, for Jesus Christ Superstar, I'm doing a whole bunch of other things on the sideline.
Yes.
JC Superstar was so lovely because they went, look, we know who we're hiring.
Yes.
In many different ways. We know who we're hiring, and we want you to be able to do your own shows at the same time if that's what you want to do. So I'm able to do the Melbourne Comedy Festival, the Darwin Comedy Festival, the Sydney Comedy Festival.
You're doing Adelaide, aren't you?
No, I've already done Adelaide.
Okay, you're in Adelaide.
No. 1 second.
Adelaide Fringe is happening now.
Adelaide Fringe.
I'm not doing Adelaide Fringe. I'm doing another festival in Adelaide around June.
Right.
If you can think of a festival in Adelaide that starts around June, then that's the one I'm in. But because they're not on sale yet, I can't say which it is, but I can drop several hints.
It's in Adelaide. It's in June. It's not too hard to figure out, is it?
And they love cabaret artists.
Okay.
So
I know the one.
blatant plugs here. I think every performer or every artist is always got their fingers in a whole bunch of pies and trying to make sure there's something in the can coming your way after. But it's not always the case.
Yeah, do you have a manager that is fielding requests for you, or if somebody wants to hire you, do they just call you?
Right. No, they can't call me. They have to call a manager, and they're in a secure location, and they have
in a bunker.
A lot of therapy. There's a lot of emotional support dogs hanging around them.
Yeah.
I think again, it's 3 of the Western Bulldogs.
You've got most of the team covered at this point.
Well, do you know what? Just lend out a couple of doggy bowls and a puppy mat, an enrichment activity, and they're fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Mickey
absolutely. Has it been a time? I mean, obviously now things have been going gangbusters for a while. We got to speak to you a number of times, but do you remember what it's like to really scramble to get your next
Funny
role?
You say this because because the nominations just came out for the Green Room Awards in Victoria, and we got a slew of them, a mate of mine called me to congratulate me and just said, hey, do you remember when you were living in a bus in London, stealing silverware from
And it was an actual working bus, so it stopped regularly and let people on.
I was just up the seats in the back. No, it was this old bus in Stepney Way, which is like a crappy part of Whitechapel before Whitechapel had boomed into that kind of trendy neighbourhood. And it was a bus. It had a wooden floor. The seats had been ripped out. It had a bench and a mattress. And it was up on blocks. It didn't have wheels.
How cold was it in winter?
Mate, it was freezing, and it had no heating, it had no electricity. The only electricity was a power board and an extension cord through a window.
Yes, so the window had to be open. Into the pub.
That my mate was squatting in, and I was renting the bus to me for 20 quid a week. But at night, any rain or anything, I'd have to unplug my heater and wrap that electrical cord in a towel. Yeah. And the only lock on the door was a padlock. If I was in the bus, I had to padlock it inside. Yeah. Because people would come and bang on it and stuff at night. It was on a thoroughfare. And if I was leaving, I had to padlock it outside and hope that when I came back...
Your power board was still there.
We were so cold at night, I had to just pull all my clothes on top of me as well. And that was, but also I was working as a butler in a members club in Pall Mall. For the most rich, old, aristocratic, gin blossomed, thick-necked people.
You would make a great butler.
I was brilliant.
You would have been brilliant.
But these people were sort of caricatures. Well, you've got to marry in the family. It keeps the money there. And they'd like stubble up to me at 8 a.m. with their empty glass going, "You, boy, red wine, here." And I was just eating pigeon and grouse off their plate and eating like a king, stealing silverware, taking it back to my bus and selling it on Gumtree and Brick Lane. And I was earning £6.50 an hour, which in London goes... No, £6.50. Sorry, £6.50 minimum wage before tax. And just trying to figure out what it was I was going to do.
So now you earn $12.50. It's amazing.
Yeah, and my agent takes a cut.
How long did you stay in that bus for? A lot of people out there have done their tours of London, stayed in London, and really had to grovel around the place.
People and stuff, but
I was there for 6 months. I was there for 6 months until I got my first touring gig, and that touring gig was when I was like, oh, I'm touring, but then you go touring. It was Evita, actually. It was Evita the musical. And I was playing Magaldi, who's the camp cabaret singer in Act 1, because the rest of the show is sort of just Evita dying and a little bit of fascism, but great tunes. It's very much like now. And from then on, I got to leave. I got to get out of the bus. I got to go on the road in a UK touring production. And then when I came back, I had enough money that I could work.
That got you started.
It's always that.
So you've come a long way.
Yeah. I mean, I was just a weird little kid at high school and I got bullied terribly. It was real rough. I mean, my high school in Melbourne's famous for having Stephen Hooker, the pole vaulter, and Thomas Sewell, the far right racist guy who's like a neo-Nazi. And me. What a wonderful smorgasbord.
I mean, what a school reunion.
I know. Isn't that the school reunion? You're like, so, yeah, I came from there and I moved to London on a one-way ticket because I wasn't getting any gigs here. And I just went there, landed, got into that, was at rock bottom in that place. And now I'm here chatting to you. It's a very big ride.
Yeah. I mean, this obviously is the pinnacle talking to us.
Every single one of you. Mainly because this one's not here. I sometimes really do pinch myself thinking back to what it was in London or what I was here in Australia and how far it's all come to be on stage in front of 2,500 people dressed in gold every night. You know, shows getting standing ovations.
Yeah.
It's bloody great.
Well done.
Mint, mate.
Well done. Next time you're in town, come back and see us again. The door is always open, especially if you bring us balls.
Thank you. Your balls.
Reuben Kaye, the star of Jesus Christ Superstar. Just a few more shows. When do you finish up? Is it this
just
weekend?
a few more shows. It's next week is our last week.
Yeah, okay.
So it's this week and next week.
Next week, yeah.
Come see us. Come get an eyeful.
Oh, hello. Thank you, Reuben.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Tomorrow on the show, everybody, she is going to be leaving Summer Bay.
Oh, my
We're
God.
going to catch up with Lynn McGranger, who after 33 years is calling it quits as Irene.
Unbelievable.
We're devastated about it. I know she's in her 70s. She deserves to have a very happy retirement, but also... she's a national treasure and it's not right that we won't be able to see her in the Bay anymore.
No, I agree. And many years ago, one of my mates brought up the idea of national treasures should be able to have their own gold card where if they go to pubs or something, it's a free drink. Oh, they just show the gold card. Yeah, no worries. What would you like? And she's one of those people. Dennis Lilly's up there, obviously. Yes. He's one of the...
I mean, they're the only two. It's very disparate.
Alf would get one. He's probably on silver at the moment.
Yeah, what we love about Lynn McGranger too is that just inexplicably, she's really good friends with Nick Natanui.
She is.
Isn't that just a weird
She's a mad
thing?
Sydney Swans fan.
Yeah, amazing. Hello, Ross.
Hello. I was just thinking, who's the neighbours, Lynn McGranger?
I mean, back in the day, it was probably Harold.
It's probably Harold.
Harold. Yeah.
Carl. Is Carl still around?
I think he is, isn't he? I don't know. I haven't watched Neighbours in a while.
Do you remember the controversy when it was Carl and Izzy, who's Natalie Bass? That was big.
Yeah, well, he cheated on... what was her name?
Exactly.
I know, but she was heaps younger.
Mrs. Kennedy.
Do you blame him? Natalie Bassingthwaite, not bad. Okay, no one's getting around me.
That's why she's jumped.
Anybody?
Shaun, attitudes like yours.
No.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, Reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Mount Hawthorn or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.